Hello, and welcome to the season 2 of the Working While Homeschooling podcast, the podcast for workingwhilehomeschooling.com, where our mission is to help homeschooling parents make money, maybe even have a career, while continuing to homeschool and without losing their sanity. My name is Julie, and I am your host and resident career coach today. I want to thank you all for joining us and listening in. I hope you're doing well. On today's episode, we have Suzanne, who owns a home feed, farm, and pet supply store while homeschooling her 3 girls. So, Suzanne, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Suzanne Carson. I am the owner of Feed 'em All Feeds, which is a feed and animal supply store in Middlesex County. I have 3 daughters. They are 7, 3, and 15 months. And we've been homeschooling for 3 years now.
Fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to own a storefront store and homeschool at the same time?
It is it's challenging. It's definitely busy. I'm always on the go, always got something going on. The really cool thing is that we meet a lot of new people. We get to interact with a lot of people. As far as homeschooling at the same time, it's great because we can work on school in between customers. So we work on school for a little while, take a break, and can go back to it. So
Right.
It's a very, we don't have to, we're not sitting down focused on things for really long periods of time, which works for us.
Let's talk the logistics of it. So how do you kind of set this up? So you have a 15-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 7-year-old in a store all day long. How do you kind of, honestly, I'm just like, how do you do it, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so we obviously have the retail space out front. I have an office area. We've set up the office area to have kind of a playroom section. So the 3-year-old and the 15-month-old spend a lot of time, in the playroom, which is still attached to the office. So, we're kind of in and out together. And we have a school desk set there. So my 7-year-old has workspace. She has her own little desk, and it's right behind my desk. So when we're in between, like I said, when we're in between customers, I am working with her across the desk and keeping an eye on the little ones. They have their, like I said, their play area. So we have, it definitely can get a little loud and chaotic sometimes, but we have to set up, I set up different little games for the younger ones to work on, try to pull out fresh toys and everything for them throughout the day. So that they have something new, not the same thing all the time. And that keeps them busy while I can work with my older one with her. She's doing 3rd grade, so I can work with her more directly doing school.
All right. Is there a particular curriculum or resources that you've used that you like and kind of make that more doable for you?
We do a lot. We do focus more on, definitely do more book schoolwork. We use the Bob Jones curriculum, which is more is actually all book work. We don't do any video or gaming kind of school. I just found that for my 7-year-old, she focuses better when she can read and see what's right in front of her. She just learns better that way. That's what's worked for us. She loves reading. So having a curriculum that is more, straightforward book work, she does really well with that.
Okay, awesome. So let me ask the dreaded socialization question, because everybody's wondering. With having to work in a store, are you able to kind of get out and do other activities or anything like that?
We do. My children are probably the most socialized children in our county. They see people every
Right.
day. lots of different people, different age groups. They can converse with children as well as adults. But outside of work, we are part of a 4-H club. I'm the leader of our local 4-H club. And so we do have interaction with kids their own age. So that is our main source of, I guess, same age socialization. We also go to church, and so they have Sunday school
Right.
where they interact with other kids their age. We do get a chance to get out to the park. I do have one person that comes and helps me at the store a couple of days a week. And so that gives me an opportunity to be able to get the kids out to go to the park or to go on a field trip and get them just out and about.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And is your husband and your spouse able to be involved in this as well, or how does that work for you guys?
Absolutely. I don't think I could do it without him. We're a team in everything we do. There are certainly moments where I struggle with how to explain something to my daughter or teach her something, and he is very good at being able to reword things in a different way. So in the evenings, we get home from work, we sit down after dinner and sit down and go over some things. He goes over things with her and works on things that maybe we're having difficulty. There's a language barrier there sometimes where I don't necessarily explain it the way she can understand it, but he can explain it and she gets it right away. So he definitely helps with that quite a bit.
So do you get the weird looks, like, when people find out that you're working in homeschooling at the same time?
Absolutely. People think that I'm crazy, and sometimes I think I am too. But I definitely get the, how do you do it all
Right.
question. And honestly, the only way I can say is teamwork. We do it together as a family, and we just have to keep pushing and do it. We made the commitment to do it, and just, set your goals and keep going towards it.
Now, you did mention to me before that you're kind of a second generation homeschooler. Is that right?
I am, yes. My husband and I both are. We were both homeschooled from first grade all the way through, graduated and went to college. So that was pretty much the driving force behind the reason we wanted to homeschool, because we had such a great experience with it ourselves. And that we want to pass that on to our kids. We want to give them the same experience and education that we had as kids as well.
And I know your kids are young, but what do they think of this kind of working in a homeschooling situation? Do they realize that it's different, or have they figured that out yet?
I don't know. I mean, I think my 7-year-old has figured out, my oldest, she's figured out that it's not everybody does the same, does things the same way we do. But they've never known anything different. They've definitely, grown up doing it. They've grown up in the store atmosphere. They've grown up, so it's kind of second nature to them. My oldest does, she sees the school buses going by and wants to know why doesn't get to ride the school bus. But I think she understands that we wouldn't be able to do some of the things that she does. She takes riding lessons and she rides a couple of days a week. We wouldn't be able to get out and do some of those things if she did go to school. So she understands.
Well, as we wrap up today, is there a question out there, that you would, if you could talk to the audience live today, that you would love to have answers to, or is there any burning questions that you're kind of dealing with right now?
I think the biggest thing that I'm dealing with is third grade is hard.
It only gets more fun.
It is. It's supposed to be more fun. And I think it is fun, but it's definitely hard. You hit third grade and there's more there's more involved with it. There's more, more work to be done.
Yeah.
Per se. And I definitely think that it has been a challenge fitting in everything that we need to do in, the time that we have. So my question would be, how does everyone else do it? How do you get all the work done? We're doing it, but it's not easy. Keeping your kids focused for the length of time that you have to, is a challenge. And, we get a chance to take breaks, but still there's some points where you really need to sit and focus. And I think that the kids have a harder time focusing when they get to third grade for the length of time that they need to. So how do you do it?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, my kids are older, and just from my perspective, that doesn't ever go away. Unfortunately, that question of how in the world are we supposed to get all of this done?
Right.
But the thing is, you have little bitties, as I like to say. So
yes.
You're like in the weeds of it, in my opinion. But once they kind of start getting to that point, like around third grade, where they can read on their own, they can kind of like follow direct, they can do a little bit on their own. That's about the time when we started kind of, okay, now that you figured out how to read, okay, you can do, it was, okay, now I'm going to start teaching you how to do this on your own. So it's like, it's almost where we started to begin our independent learner stage, which takes forever. And my kids are in 6th and 8th grade. And I'll say they're just at the point now where like, really, they're like, Mom, they come to me only when they have a question.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I kind of missed the stage where they actually wanted me to participate.
Well, I'm deep in that right now. Where
yeah.
I'm a constant participation in this.
Exactly. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, all right, I'm the grader, and I'm the disciplinarian, and I'm the chauffeur.
Right.
But it's like, oh, I don't get to do any of the fun homeschool stuff anymore. They're like, Mom, I've got this. Go away. So,
yeah.
So it'll happen eventually, but you're kind of just in the weeds of it.
Right.
So there's hope on the other side. I promise. And for those out there that are listening right now, is there a word of encouragement or just kind of like something you would want to leave them with today? If there was only one message that got across to them, what would you want them to know?
I would say it's teamwork. It takes a village. That really is the truth. There's no way to do this without doing it all together as a family. Getting that from getting the house chores done to getting the schoolwork done to getting everybody fed. Everything needs to be done as a team. You lose if you have, if your team is not all on board, you're not going to have success. I definitely think that it takes everybody.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us here today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
As we wrap up our episode today, I want to thank you all for listening in. There are a ton of great podcasts out there, but you chose to spend your time here with me, so thank you. Please be sure to check out the show notes for the links to my site, workingwhilehomeschooling.com, and all of the great ways that you can connect with me online. And I do appreciate our listener supporters. So if you've enjoyed today's podcast, you too can support us with a small monthly donation that helps us continue with great content and interviews like you've heard here today on the Working While Homeschooling podcast. Just check out the show notes for more of the information. I also appreciate your online reviews. All of you that are subscribing to our podcast, thank you to all of you who have been sharing this with your homeschooling friends. If you know someone that you think would be a great guest of our podcast, please let me know at julie@workingwhilehomeschooling.com. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for Suzanne, who shared with her experience with us. And make sure all of you join us in our Facebook group for continuing conversation on today's topic and beyond. I look forward to seeing each of you soon at our next podcast for Working While Homeschooling.